The last time Napoli were crowned champions in Italy, 1989-90.
Oh, what a strike! Brilliant finish! It's another big contribution from Osimhen.
Napoli hit Juventus with a fantastic 5. They've shown not just Italy, but the world what this team is all about under Spalletti. Energy, power, precision.
Osimhen brought it out brilliantly! That's one of his best of the season! Simeone! Fabulous finish!
This man is a superstar!
Raspadori!
And moments like that can win titles.
That could be it! Victor Osimhen has got it! The 33-year wait is over. Napoli are the champions. Naples will not sleep.
Well, indeed. 33 years on from a title from a time of legends, Napoli, the champions once again. What an incredible season they've had. They had close to 60,000 packed in here on Thursday night to witness on the big screens their draw away in Udine, which sealed the title. And look, another massive crowd again today as I Campioni return home for their first home match since their third Scudetto ever. They're taking on Fiorentina. It's live on BT Sport. There's going to be loads of emotions, loads of feels thrown in around amongst all of that as we count down to kick-off, which will be about 5 o'clock. Lots of other things to look forward to in the course of today's show. James Horncastle is one of them. Hello, James. Lovely to see you.
Hello, James.
Good. Napoli get a long-awaited Scudetto. Tell you what else is long-awaited in Naples, a home victory. Do you think they're going to celebrate with one today against Fiorentina?
Depends how heavy they've been partying over the last few days. I mean, their return from Udine was delayed because the local authority in Naples didn't want them coming home too soon because of all the kind of partying it would lead to, which hasn't stopped anyone. But
yeah, the scenes of fireworks and that post the final whistle in Udine Thursday night, the 1-1 draw, which sealed the title, quite extraordinary. Well, we'll talk more about Napoli, Fiorentina. We're going to talk more about how they brought the title back down to Naples in the course of today's show. But right now, let's dive back to Thursday night and the game which sealed the Scudetto at the Dacia Arena, Udinese-Napoli. Adriano Del Monte was there to see it.
In Naples, a sold-out Maradona Stadium are watching on the big stadium screens while hundreds of thousands of fans are gathering around the streets in anticipation. Here in Udine, over 10,000 travelling supporters have descended upon this city with the hope of witnessing some history. A single point will see them crowned champions.
Napoli started their season with such a swagger. Could they finish in something like the same style? Little bit of space in the box for Lovric. Napoli were just getting going. Now they have to get going. Osimhen, palmed away by Silvestri. Osimhen! That's not missing by much.
Udinese with the 1-0 lead. Lovric with the wonder goal. The Napoli fans are silent for now.
Napoli know that there is more to give in this race. They've been outrun in many ways in this first half.
Well, there you go, Udinese by a goal to nil at the break. Napoli with it all to do in the second half. They'll need to score if they want to lift that Scudetto tonight.
Kvaratskhelia, block first time. That could be it! Victor Osimhen has got it!
Victor Osimhen scores. Napoli level. If they can hold on, they will be champions.
Tonight, the world may spin, but the sky must surely fall in Naples. There is no tomorrow for Napoli. There is only this. Spalletti has done it. Napoli have done it. The 33-year wait is over.
I'm overwhelmed right now. It's been a crazy journey since the start of the season. And then 33 years ago, since last they won this, I think no team deserves this Scudetto more than us, more than the Napolitans. And I'm really happy for the fans, especially because they've supported us in good and bad times through the years. Now I can't wait to celebrate in front of the whole fans.
There it is, Napoli have done it! Champions in Italy for the first time in 33 long years. the first time since the days of Diego Armando Maradona, this new wave of stars etch their names into the history books of Napoli folklore. Full time at the Dutch Arena, Udinese won. The champions of Italy, Napoli, won.
Thanks, Adrian. I didn't catch too much the last bit there, but I got the gist of it. And here's more celebrations inside the Dutch Arena as the Napoli players got to finally celebrate. They'd drawn this weight out over the last couple of weeks. They had such a massive lead that it was a bit of a foregone conclusion, but still, what a moment when it finally arrived, James.
Absolutely, because, and this was the scenes in Naples, all the big screens put up so that the locals could watch the team and how they got on in Udine. Yeah, remember, they were 1-0 down at half-time. It looked like they were going to stutter all over again until that Osimhen goal. And you hear Decibel Bellini, the announcer, who was really emotional afterwards at being having the responsibility and being the guy who could say Napoli Campione d'Italia.
Right.
For the first time in how long, James?
I believe 33 years I was hearing there. It's a long time. Yeah, a football team wins title is not the biggest story in the world, but the context of Napoli winning the title, I think, it bears exploring a little bit. It's such an improbable thing that it took literally Maradona to do it. And he was the only man who's ever been able to bring the title to Naples in the past because of the imbalances economically and all sorts of other regards that city suffers from on a national level in Italy. So what they've done here, particularly against the backdrop of the way this season started, with the departure of 4 key players, the likes of Koulibaly, Insigne, Dries Mertens, and the suspicion that this was a team really reaching the end of a cycle rather than about to reach its apogee.
Yeah, and Spalletti was in the Dolomites for the training camp before the start of the season. And usually a lot of fans go along to those kind of events. And he went on stage and he said, look, these players have left, but we believe that the players we've brought in are good. And he was heckled. You know, he was told to wake up by Napoli fans who, again, at some point during last season, his Fiat Panda, his beloved Fiat Panda, James, was stolen. And then he was told with a banner outside the Stadio Diego Armando Maradona that he could have the Fiat Panda back if he left the club. That was the dissent that there was towards Spalletti.
Madness.
Even though he got them back into the Champions League when they'd been away for 2 years.
Did they get the Panda back?
Well, he said he would only take it back depending on how many miles were left on the clock, how the tyres were, and whether his CDs, his Pino Daniele CDs, were still in the glove box.
OK, legendary Neapolitan cantante would love to have seen these remarkable scenes. We don't know if they saved the Panda, but they did get the Scudetto then. Let's talk about some of the key men. Obviously, Spalletti's a big part of that, finally winning that Italian title. What was the moment when you thought, good Lord, they could actually do it this time around?
Well, remember last year they started with 8 straight wins and then faded when the African Cup of Nations started and Osimhen got injured. So they started well again, but really when they came back after the World Cup and were able to pick up where they left off, OK, they lost to Inter in the first game back, but then the next game they beat Juventus. And if you're going to win the league in Italy, you know you have to go through Juventus in order to win it. But to do it like this, to win 5-1, which was the heaviest defeat inflicted on Juventus since 1993, was really quite something. And Aurelio De Laurentiis, the owner, was talking about this week, saying 5-1 against Juventus. And then to go and beat them in Turin a couple of weeks ago with that stoppage time goal from Raspadori, to do the double over them for the first time since 2010. I think only the 3rd time in their history. The first time was when Maradona was at the club. I think that, for the players, certainly meant that, OK, this year it could be our year.
In terms of the star players, we saw a couple of them in action there, and Kvaratskhelia and Osimhen as well.
Yeah, and Osimhen, I mean, in terms of moments when the team believed, the players, he said it was against Roma. And he had a couple of great moments, home and away against them. I mean, this was just an incredible goal. The KO duo of Kvaratskhelia and Osimhen combining there. And Osimhen will be the capocannoniere this season. First time an African player's done that. His goal in Udine in midweek meant he's I think, the all-time top scorer from Africa in Serie A. I think he drew level with George Weah.
Right.
But he's been fit for all of the season, which is something that really hasn't happened in his 3 years at the club.
Right.
And you can see the difference.
A lot of people wondering this week whether he'll be there for a 4th year or a 5th or a 6th, and that's something we'll touch on maybe later, what happens next with this incredible Napoli team. But it is an incredible team as well, and Spalletti himself pointing out one of his highlights of the season was that moment when they lost possession against Sassuolo.
Sassuolo, yeah.
And this incredible scene of just a blue armada sailing downfield.
Yeah, so it's a Napoli corner. They give the ball away, and Sassuolo have this chance to counter. But just look at the players' desire to get back and win the ball back. That you see Osimhen, for example, by his own penalty area there. It really showed how together this team was, how they were prepared to leave it all out there on the pitch. In order to win games like that away in Sassuolo and obviously to win this title.
Yeah, it has been a joy to watch. We're going to be seeing them in action very, very shortly against Fiorentina, and we'll be on the air for a half hour after that match to bring you celebrations as well. We'll also be bringing you all the goals from the rest of the weekend's action too. Now, before we get to this afternoon's game, we're going to catch up, though, on the other events midweek because there were some very significant results in the race for top 4. James, tell us the headlines. Oh, no, actually, we'll be doing that when we return after this break. '90, a golden age for Serie A and a title that has become legend for supporters in Naples with Diego Armando Maradona at their heart. Napoli won their 2nd Scudetto in 4 years. What a long road it's been that's taken this team back to the top. They've passed through relegation, they've passed through bankruptcy, the 3rd division, so many troubles and travails, but now they are Campioni d'Italia again. And they're about to take the field at the Diego Armando Maradona Stadium against Fiorentina, and our live game kick-off at 5 o'clock. Now, it's going to be quite an afternoon. Looking forward to seeing them in action. We're going to have a quick check, though, before we get into today's events on the many important results that took place midweek. There were some really key results in the race for the top 4 places. James, what were the headlines?
Well, you're right, James, because the title race has been decided, but top 4 is still wide open. Atalanta looked like they were making a really good run of it. Luis Muriel getting this goal. It's their 5th win in 7 games for the Bergamaschi, which has got everyone looking over their shoulder, or at least it did in midweek. Juventus work down in Campania. And then this was one of the moments of the weekend as well. Pietro Pellegrini, who came through at Genoa, taunting the Samp fans after scoring that goal in stoppage time, causing a brawl. The Samp players unhappy with him rubbing salt in their wounds. And, of course, Genoa have got promoted this week, so they'll be passing Samp as Samp go the way down.
Genoa coming back to Serie A after a season away. That was confirmed yesterday, more or less at, a couple of days after Sampdoria had gone to the brink of relegation. If they don't win tomorrow away at Udinese, then they are down. All right, well, that was just some of the midweek action, but let's have a check on the later games. Give us the headlines from these as well.
Well, it was a disappointing Wednesday for Milan, James. Stefano Pioli made a lot of changes. I don't think he underestimated Cremonese because Cremonese held Milan in Cremona earlier in the season, and Okereke, who loves playing against the Milanese, he scored in both games against Inter, scored that one as well, and they needed a stoppage time equaliser from Junior Messias to get a point, Milan, but that was a big dent in their hopes of Champions League football. Lazio themselves, remember, Ciro Immobile was involved in a crash with a tram, but was fit again. Milinkovic-Savic getting the clinching goal in what was a very good game against Sassuolo. So Lazio held on to 2nd, at least for midweek. Really disappointing night for Roma, but then again, Monza, been such a tough place to go. Monza, who already wrapped up survival in their first ever season last week, Roma got in front with El Shaarawy, who feels like the kind of player who will be at Monza in a year or two's time. But Caldirola, who scored against Inter, scores against Roma. Wonderful finish from that set piece, but Mourinho very unhappy at the end of that.
Speaking of Inter,
and this is the informed team in Serie A at the moment. What a finish that is from Calhanoglu, one of the goals of the season. And Inter have now won 5 straight. I think it helps that a lot of their squad players are now fit and in form. What a goal from Lautaro Martinez. Lula is very much back in fashion. That's Lautaro and Lukaku over the last few weeks, which bodes very well for the Euro derby between Milan and Inter in midweek, which we'll see on BT Sport. But Inter going great guns at the moment.
Brilliant. All right, well, a lot of those teams have been in action. Of course, this weekend we will have those goals later on. 7 o'clock after our live match, Napoli-Fiorentina will be bringing you all the stories from the weekend's matches and some of the Scudetto celebrations too from the Maradona Stadium. There's a full house there. Will they have a home win to celebrate as well as a 3rd title? We'll be bringing you the action live as Napoli take on Fiorentina here on BT Sport right after the break. Welcome back, everyone. It's the Diego Armando Maradona Stadium, where this afternoon, in the shadow of Vesuvius, a full house is awaiting the freshly crowned champions of Italy, Napoli, as they take on in-form Fiorentina. The Viola just won defeat in their last 10 matches, and they've got a Coppa Italia final coming up, and they've also, Thursday, got a Europa Conference League semi-final, James. This is a team with a pretty exciting finale coming up to their season.
Very. They've won 3 of their last 4 visits here as well. They knocked Napoli out of the Coppa Italia last season. So Vincenzo Italiano, awkward opponent. They're the team that plays with the highest line in Serie A. Press the best as well. So we saw them be the first team to take points off Napoli earlier in the season in that 0-0 at the Artemio Franchi.
Augurs well.
Oh, yeah, it does, James.
Absolutely. It's the kind of result we have been seeing from Napoli of late at home. It's since the 11th of March that they haven't had a home win. What do you think? I know you were talking about depends how much they've parted earlier on, but the pressure's completely off them now. They don't have Europe to worry about. They don't have the Coppa to worry about. They can just go out and enjoy themselves. Absolutely.
A bit of relief as well, because I do think the pressure of anticipation was too much for them over the last few weeks, particularly at home in this atmosphere. Everyone waiting expectantly to see them win the league, and they just wanted to deliver on that, James.
Well, the post-game celebrations will feature the official presentation of the Scudetto and a parade of players as well, fireworks, I imagine. The whole thing is going to be, it has been curated by the Neapolitan director, Paolo Sorrentino.
Yeah,
classic.
The Oscar director, the Oscar-winning director of La Grande Bellezza,
Il Divo.
The Great Beauty.
Right.
Or È stata la mano di Dio.
Yeah, also, how very appropriate. Chronicled the golden age, the previous golden age of Neapolitan football when Diego was in town, as opposed to just being the name on the stadium. Fiorentina, then, how much do you think that the Thursday night clash with Basel in the Conference League semi-finals is going to weigh on their performance today?
Well, I suppose if we look at the Torino-Monza game earlier, which was a draw, it means that they've gone level on points with Fiorentina. Fiorentina will want to finish top half because, as in the Premier League, the higher you finish, the more TV money you get. But they're so detached from the top 7 that their focus is going to be Coppa Italia. It is going to be on Conference League. So, I think Italiano's always been one of those coaches who, you train how you play, and he'll look at this as more than a training session, naturally, but he'll want to go into that game against Basel in Florence with his players full of confidence. So they're not going to just sort of come here for a jolly and get turned over, James. All right,
we've talked a lot in the build-up here about all the goal-scoring threats that Napoli have, and Fiorentina very much of a similar ilk. That 3-3 draw midweek, which you mentioned as being one of the games of the round.
But 5-0 against Samp.
The 5-0 against Samp just last weekend, 8 goals in the last 2 games. This is a team that likes to go out and play.
And also, James, 8 different goal scorers of their last 8 goals as well. So that goes to show the work of Italiano. He involves and includes everybody. I think one of the things that held them back in the first half of the season was, who is the striker who's going to score us a lot of goals? Because this time last year, well, not this time last year, but in the first half of last season, it was Dusan Vlahovic. They then signed Cabral from Basel. They signed Christoph Piontek, and initially they did well, but at the start of this season, not so much. But now you can see that, particularly after they got through the group stages of the Conference League, and they had that gap of Serie A and European football through the spring, that allowed them to get their confidence back, regain some ground in the league, and you're seeing that this is one of the best coached teams in Serie A. I think a lot of people look at who is the next very good Italian coach after De Zerbi, and on what De Zerbi is doing at Brighton. And I think a lot of people, the consensus is it's the work that Italiano's doing at Fiorentina.
OK. They are one of 5 Italian sides in European semi-finals this coming midweek. Napoli, not one of those, but they've got their hands on the prize they really wanted, the title again after 33 years. Only Maradona had previously been able to make them champions, but these boys have done it now. James.
It's just remarkable that these boys have done it, and leading them out is Giovanni Di Lorenzo, the captain. Di Lorenzo, who was playing for Matera in the 4th division not so long ago, and they were wound up, went bust, and he was without a club. Just goes to show how far he has come. And I think symbolic also of Napoli's Scudetto, that they didn't need that guy whose name is in the foreground there, Maradona. They didn't need a supernatural presence in order to lift off the yoke of the North in order to win this title. It's just been a lot of clearly very gifted players, very well coached, who played fantastic football, but ordinary people, which suggests that Napoli can do this again, not just next year, but in the years to come.
Magnificent choreography greeting the players from the 2 teams as they make their way out. It is an incredible group of players. We will talk post-game a little bit about what the future holds, but these last few rounds of this season, is this, briefly, James, the last time we're going to be able to enjoy this Napoli outfit playing this kind of football?
Well, this kit, I imagine, yes, James, because they'll change it next year, as we see the tricolour with the number 3, but Napoli are very hard to negotiate with. I think it'll be very difficult to prize Victor Osimhen away in Kvaratskhelia. For someone like Kim, who's got a buyout clause, there's nothing they can do about that. But if you're one of those players, wouldn't you want to carry on playing in this atmosphere,
if you
James?
look at the examples of Insigne and Koulibaly and Mertens, players who fought so hard, players who tasted being on top of the table only to see the lead slip from their hands, who now witness, post their own departure, the greatest joy of all in this city.
But also, James, I mean, great shots of the Stadio San Paolo. But as De Laurentiis is saying, we probably deserved other league titles, but our problem was we were too honest.
Well, 3 is the number that they have. What a quote from De Laurentiis.
A guard of honour from Fiorentina. A classy touch, I believe they call that, James.
Fiorentina standing by to honour the freshly crowned champions of Italy. Decimo Bellini on the mic. Let's let him do the honours as we prepare to hand over to our commentators, Nigel Spackman and Dave Farah.
Did someone mention a coronation? It's their day, all right. The day they have waited for 33 years here at the stadium named after him. And Diego watches down and smiles, and he'll enjoy the ride as much as anyone inside this stadium, because it's a day for joy, a day for Naples, and a day that they've waited so long for, and it will taste all the sweeter. One by one they come, and they have been, Nigel Spackman, by some distance, the very best of this Serie A season.
Absolutely, the very best team. Plenty of games in hand, and they're going to enjoy this, as Spalletti does, coming down there, getting congratulated by all the players from both teams, and he's done such a wonderful job here. And they've done it in style, Dave. That's what it's all about, scoring plenty of goals, entertaining us, and entertaining these loyal fans.
And there's some irony too in Fiorentina being the visitors. If you follow the Napoli story, the bleak days, the nearly days, The biggest of them was Simeone for Fiorentina that broke Sarri's heart, but today their hearts are jumping for joy here. Just soak it up, the streets are quiet. All the focus is here. The noise is absolutely deafening. They paint a glorious picture. Di Lorenzo and Jack Bonaventura, the two captains, and Fiorentina are full of players with class. James Horncastle mentioned the classy gesture of the Guard of Honour. They're that kind of team, and they hope to have their own glory days in front of them in the Cup final, in the Conference League. But today they don't mind playing second fiddle. The referees are being serenaded. It's going to be a very, very different day here. They are all smiles. I think this is a day, a game to sit back and enjoy, to see if Osimhen can add to his tally and become, on his own, the top African goal scorer in the history of Serie A, and take a step closer to that Capo Cannoniere crown. So many familiar faces all around the place. There's going to be this glorious, almost closing ceremony, and the presentation afterwards. Good old Tommy Starace's been down there with his coffee for everyone. One of the fixtures of this club, one of the people whose smile is broader than anybody's. The referee is Matteo Marchetti. If you are new to the wonderful world of Serie A, Napoli are in the blue. But I suspect you know that. It's Fiorentina to get things underway, and it's a difficult situation for them. Few players have been around the block and they'll cope with it okay, Nigel, but not easy to be at someone else's party.
No, but you want to be the party poopers, that's for sure. You want to beat Napoli today, Fiorentina. The gap is too big for them to go up the league at all. They're in 8th place, they can't catch Roma in 7th. There's a massive gap there, but it's playing for pride and also confidence, as you said, going into that semi-final of the European Conference League in midweek.
They've been brilliant in that competition, but Napoli have been kings of Serie A, and here's Victor Osimhen straight away, and Dodo almost got his feet wrong. Dodo just one of 4 players remaining from the midweek game, and Elmas is offside.
Yeah, but again, Osimhen, he's offside. He went a little bit early, you can see that, but they played on. But he's been in such amazing form, and the big story will be, come the end of the season and the pre-season, is he going to still be here in Naples? He's been so good this season. I think the most rounded centre-forward I've seen in Italian football, maybe European football this year, with his pace, with his touch, with his creativity. He's been absolutely outstanding.
He's not guaranteed to be Capo Cannoniere. Lautaro Martinez is 3 goals behind and is on one of his runs at the moment. Didn't score yesterday, played briefly as a substitute, but I wouldn't quite give it to Osimhen yet. There's Spalletti, and how much fun has it been to see him succeed after He's been responsible for so many great teams, so much watchable football, so much frustration over the years. To see him get it right and the players get it right for him, becomes the oldest manager to win Serie A for the first time, eclipsing Maurizio Sarri, who so nearly won it with Napoli.
Yeah, but I think if we look back to the start of the season, Dave, Napoli were nowhere near being favourites to win the Scudetto. Actually, they weren't even favourites to get in the top four, to get in European football and Champions League football. And with the changes they've made, you have to give great credit to Spalletti and how he's gelled them together, ground them into a really good team with some outstanding individuals as well.
Yeah, you're right, with the players they lost, it's been well documented. It felt like the end of an era. But in reality, it was the beginning of one. And we weren't to know how good King would be, how good Maradona would be, how brilliant Osimhen would be when fully fit, and how well some of the others, the more unheralded players, would do when asked to fill in, when asked to play a different role away from the searing superstardom, the likes of Anguissa, for example.
Yeah, and Lobotka, who's not playing today, Dave, we always talk lyrical about him. He does such a good job for the team, always wants the ball, gets things going. When he plays well, the team plays well, and probably doesn't get the credit of some of the other players.
And of course, he provides a link back to the old days. You think of the three tenors, another side that wowed us and entertained us, but never quite were good enough. Lavezzi, Cavani and Hamšík, and it was Hamšík who recommended Lobotka, one of his final acts. He got that one right. Not a single player, nor the coach, had ever won Serie A. That's the first time it's happened since Inter in 52-53. You normally need that experience, you normally need to know how to win, but this team haven't. They've got so much right. There's Østegård. Now Terzic, got Sotil outside him, he looks for the cross instead, and Luka Jovic heads over.
Yeah, but a good break from Fiorentina down this left-hand side. No foul there. And then this is a lovely run, and then the cross into the box looking for Jovic. Comes across, gets the header in, but just can't get it down and on target.
What a frustrating player Luka Jovic is and has been, just to us Real Madrid fans. Ever since that glorious season with Frankfurt. He's actually done well in Europe. He did earlier on in the competition anyway, but Italiano has had much to say about him in terms of his frustration.
Yeah, I think it's one of those when a young player is just developing and they take that big move when he left Frankfurt, where he had one good season basically, and then went to Real Madrid and didn't get in the team, found it hard to adapt, and then went out on loan. He's got to rebuild his career a little bit, hasn't he? And he's trying to do that here at Fiorentina.
There is Italiano, a coach who has been marked out, I think, for great things in the future. Big job comes up. Expect his name to be strongly linked. Not that Fiorentina isn't a big job, but I think he'll get one of the big Italian jobs at some point. Now Napoli onto the front foot, and that's just dragged wide. Terracciano, I think, had it covered, the drive from Elmas.
Yeah, lovely ball and take, and then the shot. I think he should have gone for the other corner, bent it round the defender to the left-hand side of the goalkeeper rather than the near post. Drags it wide, Elmas.
Østegård. Little nudge there, I think, from Terzic. It'll be a free kick for Napoli. Lozano becoming the first Mexican to win Serie A. We've had the first Kosovan to win Serie A, the first player from the Korea Republic. Not the first Georgian. Stats fans. Taking a while to sort this out. Raspadori moves away and then decides to take it and get the idea, get the movement, but the delivery was awful. Great recovery challenge from Almas.
Brilliant. Tracking back. Getting a nice little run out today. Wants to impress the manager, impress the fans. Did that there, Almas. Well, he scored 6 goals this season. You know, he's not been a regular in the team, but he scored 6, 3 assists. That just shows you the strength in depth that they've found this season.
Challenge there on Nico Gonzalez, who's been an exceptional performer for Fiorentina. And is being strongly linked with a move elsewhere.
I think that's the big thing for the Fiorentina players, isn't it? If they can go on and win that Conference League. A few of the players, Gonzalez being one of them, and the manager, as you touched on, Dave, could be one of those that other clubs will look at, maybe try and prize away. And we haven't even mentioned Amrabat, who had a brilliant World Cup.
Only 9 minutes in, Nigel, come on. Yeah, another who's been excellent. Backed up that World Cup display. Here's Dodo. Finally scored his first Fiorentina goal in that 5-0 rout of poor old Sampdoria. It was me thinking that one real bonus of Samp being relegated, that we'd get the Derby della Lanterna back. The great Genoa derby, and of course Genoa have now been promoted, so they cross over. We lost it, and we've lost it again. Great job done by Alberto Gilardino. Here's Diego Demme. Diego Demme, well documented now, the first player since you-know-who called Diego to play for Napoli. Named after him. Here's Anguissa. Only his second start of the season. He's not been an important player, Demme, but Spalletti has given a few a chance here. Pumped clear by Golini, who had a hapless time in the Fiorentina goal. It's his second start here for Napoli. Igor. Napoli did their best to almost hide the route by which they were getting back from Udine to try and concentrate the celebration here. All sorts of airport changes and so on. Here's Terzic.
Yeah, by the pictures I saw midweek, I don't think they hit it too well, did they?
Yeah, hard to do, I think. Here's Sotil, who has his own Udinese link, of course. It's one of these games where you almost want the cameras to turn around for significant time so we can see what's happening all around the stadium. See the joy in the faces of the Neapolitans. The game is almost an afterthought, albeit an afterthought between two very entertaining sides to watch, who did produce a 0-0, as James Richardson was saying earlier on in the campaign.
but when you look at overall at Napoli and how consistent they've been, Dave, and that run in the Champions League as well, which was phenomenal. Just, I think, overall they just let themselves down over the 2 legs in that, but their season, it's been all about winning the Scudetto, and they've done that. And I just think they've been so consistent, and being top scorers and the least goals against just show you as a team how good they've been this season, how consistent they've been.
And they will celebrate the Scudetto win for a long time to come, even if they never win another. But did they let the Champions League go? We'll never know, of course, but it's hard to believe they'll have a better chance. Anyway, let them enjoy the day and the rest of the season. And who cares? They have this day, they had the Udine day, they've got every other day to come to celebrate. Targeted towards Milenkovic. There's Sotil, who scored that massive goal in that remarkable second leg against Lech Poznan, where they threw away the 3-goal advantage. And then he produced an outstanding finish to put them in front. It's nicked away there by Duncan. Here is Nico Gonzalez. Lovely weather for a day out in the Napoli sunshine. Amrabat. Now Sotil. Chance for him to run at Di Lorenzo. On the overlap is Terzic, and that's headed goalwards, and that's pushed away by Golini. Good angled header that time. Gonzalez. In from Bonaventura for Luka Jovic again.
I have to say, that was a really good save. Golini there, that's bouncing in front of him. He pushed it to safety as well. Really good save. I think it was Jovic with the header as well. It's across his man. Here we go. Really good header, and that's a smart save. See, when you see that from Luka Jovic, the technical excellence, you wonder why he can't reproduce that sort of thing consistently. Such a talent. Well, as I said, Dave, I mean, he's still only 25, isn't he? He's got his best years in front of him, but you've got to work hard at things. Sometimes it comes very easy. At Frankfurt, that run they had in the Europa League, got knocked out by Chelsea, I think it was, who went on to win it. And then he gets his move to Real Madrid, and I think he moved too early. You can always say that in hindsight, can't you? But you don't turn Real Madrid down, really, do you? Then he's had to rebuild his career, and he's still trying to rebuild it. But he's definitely got the talent in there. He's just doing it on a consistent basis.
He hasn't exactly cut the figure of someone this season who's wanted to rebuild it at times. Yeah. Here's Anguissa, steals it away from Igor. Nice feet there from Anguissa, looking for Jack Raspadori. There's Kim. Now Di Lorenzo, closed down by Sotil. It's a good battle between those two.
Yeah, but he's been so good this season, hasn't he, Di Lorenzo? The captain, always physical, wanting to win that ball. This was the save, lovely ball in, good header, as you said, down, and it bounces in front of the goalkeeper, Bellini, and he pushes it out on the half volley. Really good save.
There's Milenkovic. spoke with great emotion beforehand about the shootings in Serbia, and any goal that he scores subsequently will be dedicated to the victims of that. Stolen away here by Luka Jovic. Good sprawling save by Golini, but here's Sotil. And it's deflected behind for a Fiorentina corner. It's a good spell, this, for Fiorentina.
Yeah, but Ostergaard, you can't do this. Too casual, slips over. Jovic is on it. That's a good save again, Golini, because it comes off his line and closes the space down, makes the save. And that one's just deflected over the top for the corner.
Bonaventura across to take the corner. Igor at the near post at the moment. Gonzalez is very good in the air for someone of his size. So too is Jovic. As we've just seen, Milenkovic, huge centre-half in there as well. Milenkovic is the target. Must be a little bit of skill there from Spalletti. He was in the Fiorentina Youth Academy, never played. He's from Cetaldo in the province of Florence, so it's a club close to his heart. One of the many Tuscan coaches in Serie A.
Someone was telling me a few weeks ago about Spalletti that he took a rest from football for a couple of years, had his own farm or something, and got lured back into it. So brilliant to see a man of his age doing so well and winning this Scudetto with Napoli and playing the right way.
Here's Sotil. Man of his age, he's only 64.
Yeah, nearly as old as you. I think Neil Warnock's got a farm down in Cornwall as well, or Devon. He's done a remarkable job as well.
Just to be clear, I'm not signing my name to the commentary in which Neil Warnock's compared to Luciano Spalletti.
I didn't compare
just
them.
To be clear.
I didn't. I'm just talking about the farms, Dave. Tuscany or Devon. Anyway, back to the football.
I think Nigel's pitching for a TV show, Football on the Farm. Watch this space. I'd watch. Here's Amrabat. It's been a slow start, certainly, by Napoli, but after all of the celebrations and the emotion of the week, you can't blame them at all for that.
No, I think it's very difficult. You get that point away at Udinese. You won the championship, which you set out to do, and then you're at home in front of your own supporters. It's party time, really, but you've got to try and produce it. You want to win this game, and I think from the bench, I think Napoli are more than capable of winning from the bench anyway, the players they have on it.
I think Osimhen had a point there. Hard one to spot, though. There's Østigard. Well, plenty of action coming up here on BT Sport to look forward to. West Ham United against Manchester United tonight from 6:30 p.m. And then coming up tomorrow, Brighton against Everton. What a huge game that is for Sean Dyche. Big one for Brighton too, but goodness me. They're all big ones now. Here's Milenkovic. There's a big chase on here, and Gonzalez gets there.
It was a nice pass, though, from Bonaventura into the space, using the pace of Gonzalez. Gets his team a corner.
What a sight. Trying to tee Duncan up there for an angled volley. Now Osimhen. Osimhen chasing here against Igor. Trying to dart in behind.
They did well in the end. Igor just got his body between the ball and Osimhen blocked him off, played it back to the keeper. But if you're a defender playing against Osimhen and he chases everything down, puts you under pressure, forces mistakes from you.
Here's Jovic. Igor, now Bonaventura. Player reborn since he signed a new contract with Fiorentina. Sotil. Fiorentina the better side so far. And even though it's a changed team, some of the key players are playing, and any confidence boost they can get ahead of that European semi-final. They move it well again. Here's Sotil. It's the play it inside to Bonaventura.
There's too much pace on that to hit first time.
Now Chuki, Lozano.
Got to do better then. Lozano, though, relieve the pressure on his team. You've got to keep possession. Too loose.
Every time I see Lozano, I just imagine Gennaro Gattuso screaming Chuki at him full volume. It's a memory of lockdown games that. Here embarking, telling him to track back over and over.
Yeah, where you could hear every word from the manager.
Bonaventura. Referee got in the way there and then got out of the way. As James Horncastle was saying, the post-match show, the ceremony, will be directed by Paolo Sorrentino, the brilliant film director. If you haven't seen The Great Beauty, it's a wonderful 3 hours or so. It's an incredible joy of a film, and I'm sure it'll be incredible joy of a presentation. Here's Sotil. Now Terzic to whip the cross in.
He's done well down that left-hand side, Terzic, but that final ball was overhit then. But he's really linking well down the left-hand side, full of energy, trying to take Lozano back towards his own goal.
Di Lorenzo. There's Deme. Both of these teams, remember, reborn this century. Fiorentina in 02, Napoli in 04. Both had to go down to come back up. Both in their own way are remarkable stories. Both have been through the mill.
Yeah, but both clubs with a big history as well. Good to see them both doing so well, but especially for that man's team.
There's De Laurentiis, who's been rightly taking the plaudits this week. Talked how his film producing experience had allowed him to run a football club so well.
How does that work then? You'll have to tell us how that one works.
If you need an investor for footballers on the farm, he could be the man.
I'll give him a call tomorrow.
Goalless, you might have guessed, here at the Stadio Diego Armando Maradona. Fiorentina the better side. Napoli still, I think, basking a bit in the glory, as they've every right to. Now Duncan wriggles away from that challenge. Here's Nico Gonzalez, closed down. Oliveira is staying tight to him there. They know Gonzalez is a big danger.
Yeah, just a tug of the shirt there. It's a free kick, nothing more.
Vestergaard. Now Sotil.
It's interesting, Dave, for me that both teams basically play 4-3-3, but what happens with Napoli a lot of the time is Osimhen's up the middle and the two wide strikers drop back in and make it basically a 5. For Fiorentina, they play with one just off the front in the hole, which causes a little bit of a problem defensively for Napoli. They drop into that little hole and then one of them rotate it all the time so they can get in that space like an attacking midfield player behind two strikers. So tactically very interesting, and I think that's why Fiorentina are on top, that they're pushing up in a 3 but just 2 up and then 1 in just in behind. And they've got to force them to play it long.
A good take that was from Oliveira. Here's Raspadori. Just going to run out of room. Bonaventura. Swung forward by Dodo. That was a risky header, but okay from Vestergaard. Lone spells at both Coventry and Stoke. Feels a long way from that, doesn't it, being involved in this? Victor Osimhen, who will shoot from anywhere.
Yeah, nothing else on really. Good movement down the right-hand side again, times it perfectly. Defender misses it, and then he's not got any support, so why not have a hit from there, try and beat the keeper at his near post. Cuts across it, well off target in the end.
Di Lorenzo. Called by Kim for Giacomo Raspadori. Bundled over. Some great vintage shirts in there. Be disappointed if there weren't at this club, but some real belters, and Fiorentina have got plenty of those as well. Nice turn there from Lozano with Osimhen away to his right. Angles there again for Osimhen. Falls now for Raspadori, blocked away. Now Di Lorenzo. Di Lorenzo keeps going, the captain. Didn't quite catch it.
Yeah, because Amrabat did so well to go with his run. It's a little give and go. Lovely ball played back over the top. That's the shot which is blocked, but comes back in. Little give and go, and it's Amrabat just comes across and puts him under pressure. And Di Lorenzo can't get enough force on that. There's an interesting viewer.
Yeah, Diego Simeone watching on. Jovic.
Yeah, a little tug of the shirt and a kick out, pulling him back.
Diego Simeone, by the way, has been presented with a statuette of his son in the Napoli jersey. They are a tradition in Naples. They normally end up in the Christmas tableau. Sure, he nodded and appreciated it and then walked away thinking, what's that? Bonaventura. A great burst of pace from Dodo. Duncan was in there challenging.
Yeah, but Kim read it so well, as he has most of the season. I have to say he's been outstanding, but Duncan makes a really good run into the box, but Kim watches it all the way, heads it to safety.
Duncan looking to play it in behind for Terzic, who'd made the run from out wide. I wonder at what point Spalletti might just change things. Of course, he's got a lot of talent on the bench. A lot of oomph on the bench, and they're just missing that a little bit.
Yeah, and I think those players will want to come on and make an impact if it's 0-0. But when does he do it? You're right. Does he do it at half-time, after an hour, 70 minutes? To wait and see.
Sotil. Now Terzic. With Sotil and comfortably away by Østegård. Quick reminder that both Champions League semi-finals, of course, are available here with us on BT Sport 1 on Tuesday. Real Madrid against Manchester City. And on Wednesday, well, the game that will stop Italy, Milan derby in the semi. The form they're in, having watched them both yesterday, slightly favour Inter, I must say.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think Inter hit form at the right time. There's a big shout also, is Leao going to be fit for Milan, who had to come off early yesterday?
Fiorentina have drawn 3 of their last 5 against Napoli in Serie A and are performing well again here. Napoli have struggled with Fiorentina in the past. And from Duncan, 60-59 in Napoli's favour in the all-time list between them. It's always been tight. Wafted forward towards Osimhen. Oliveira, Anguissa. Here's Lozano, looking for Victor Osimhen, who was stretching and straining a bit there.
Yeah, it was just behind him, the cross. He had to try and get his neck muscles round it. You watch this, the cross comes in just behind him, and he's trying to get the power and direction at the same time, and gets underneath it, heads it as he's coming down. But that's better from Napoli.
Yeah, just a warning from Marchetti for Lozano. Wants to referee the occasion in the spirit in which it's meant and all that. Bonaventura. So much space here for Terzic. Does he have an option to pick out? It was Jovic.
Yeah, but again, good defending from Min-jae Kim, who comes across. You can see the movement. Run to the near post, and he gets there before Jovic. But it was Denmark getting caught in midfield, getting caught on the ball, wanting too much time. He hasn't played that much and not getting his head up, getting closed down, giving the ball away.
Duncan's delivery, header wide. Climbing was Milenkovic.
Yeah, it's a good ball to the back post. He's coming in on it, but Kim's going back, just does enough to put him off, getting that on target.
Sure, you saw many pictures from the week when Napoli were confirmed as champions. I thought amongst the most moving were this entire stadium, those who'd paid €5 to charity to get in to watch it on a big screen, singing Napoli, the Pino Daniele song, the anthem to this city. And, also remembering him, Pino Daniele, the writer of it, who died in 2015, how he would have loved an occasion like this. I thought it was very moving ahead of that last home game, and Boulaïdia ruined things. Fans were asked to bring 2 scarves to the game, one for themselves and one for anybody they'd lost in the last 33 years who would have lived and breathed and loved this occasion. It is a club that runs on raw emotion, for good and bad, Napoli. Mostly good.
I have to also say, David, Napoli winning the title on the back of Milan last year into the year before. I think it's really good for Italian football that, you know, the monopoly that Juventus had has come to an end. And it's a really interesting league now. Very competitive. It's going to be very interesting next year if Juventus can make a real surge for the title again. They come with a good late run this year, but they've been too far behind once they got their 15 points back.
Yep, it will be wide open again. Poor touch from Anguissa. Luciano Spalletti's got high standards, and I suspect he'll have words at half-time. Fully aware of the occasion and what his players are dealing with, but still. There's Lozano.
No, I think you're absolutely right. You want more from his side in the second half. But sometimes when you make so many changes, it doesn't quite click.
Here's Osimhen, he's clicked all right. Igor just closed the angle down, just.
Yeah, but brilliant movement again from this man. What's the desire to get across the defender, make the pass come into him. As you said, Igor does well to match the run, and on his left foot, just off target into the side netting. But the willingness to run in behind and make something happen impresses me every game from Osimhen. Also coming back to those quarter-final, the two legs, you get him missing in the first leg. Osimhen, I think, was a big blow to Napoli and what they could have actually done over the two legs. They needed him, and unfortunately were poor in the opening first leg. Gave them too much to do in the second.
Real bang on the left knee of Hirving Lozano. Of course, they all want to play a part here. Well, there's the moment he went down, but isn't that a great picture of the stands? A sense of what's to come, of what is.
Well, it's a whole new generation of Napoli fans, isn't it? Not seen their team win this since 1990, before that 1987, as we said, but 33 years, that's a whole generation of people coming to watch this club without seeing them win. And now they have. But this looks like Lozano's going to have to come off with this. Kick the ball, I think he's hurt his knee.
Yeah, that's a shame for him, certainly. Consoling words as well from Amrabat. Great sportsmanship here. On comes one of the stars of this season. Last seen wrapped in a Georgian flag in Udine in floods of tears. Kvaratskhelia here to entice us and entertain us for just over a half. Sotil has pace, but quickly off his line was Golini. Amrabat. Here's Dodo. So there's the half-time whistle from Matteo Marchetti. Stalemate here. I said to Nigel Spackman just before kick-off with some confidence that today would be fun, it would have a real sense of occasion, it would feel historic, and we'd feel the passion coming out of the television screen. I also said there was every chance it could finish 4-all. Of course, at half-time, it's Napoli 0, Fiorentina 0.
Welcome back, everybody. This Stadio Diego Armando Maradona, home to the Italian champions. But currently goalless at half-time against Fiorentina. We've got big action coming up for you this week. Aside from the Champions League semi-finals, there's semi-final action in the Conference League. West Ham kicking off at 7:15 against AZ Alkmaar. 7:45, 3 matches in the Europa League. Juventus, Sevilla and Roma against Bayer Leverkusen. And back in the Conference League, of course, Fiorentina against Basel. James Horncross, what a glorious view that is. Across Pozzuoli out towards the bay there. And it's been a lovely spectacle the first half as well, hasn't it, between Napoli and Fiorentina. Goalless, but a real kind of live is life kind of vibe to the whole thing.
Yeah, played in a lovely ambience as well. We felt it looked like a 90s game, didn't it, with the kind of fumogeny, the smoke descending on the pitch, bright sunshine.
Right.
And some bright chances.
Let's have a look at some bright chances. Fiorentina had the majority of them in the opening half hour or so.
Yeah, Terzic putting the ball on Luka Jovic's head. You see again another crossing situation for them. Good glancing header, good save from Golini, who was signed by Fiorentina early in the season. Then Sirigu got hurt for Napoli, and Napoli signed him as their backup. Golini, who's more famous for being a rapper these days, Golorius. We see Ostigard slip up, and a chance for Luka Jovic again there. So Fiorentina doing a lot of the early running in that game.
Some suggestions that Napoli would still be celebrating, or at least suffering the...
Hungover?
Hungover, yeah, the effects thereof. But what have you made of them in the first half?
Well, I think they started OK. I mean, we've seen them create situations on the left-hand side for Elif Elmas, for example. And another thing that I think was going to be a trademark of this game was when Fiorentina press high, they always have that ball that they just launch in behind for Osimhen, because they know Osimhen's going to get on the end of it. That's the Elmas chance I was just talking about. And this is the ball that they always like to try and play for Osimhen. Osimhen, we've seen him score from that position earlier this season. And just look at him peeling off again there. Great little turn from Raspadori here. It's a great block as well from Nikola Milenkovic. But, you know, as much as people think, you know, Napoli have maybe taken their eye off the ball over the last 24 hours or so with all the partying, we're still seeing classic patterns of play from Napoli. I mean, again, that very similar to the goal that Osimhen scored against Roma, for example. So, you know, those patterns are still very much there for all to see.
Of course, they were all peeling off Thursday night at the Dash Arena when some of the 11,000 travelling fans got on the pitch and took away some souvenirs from the kit. Essentially, of the
kit, and also some of the pitch.
Some of the pitch as
from
well.
Udine.
Yeah.
Udinese are not particularly happy about that.
No, Adriano De Monte was in there, but not in any way participating in those activities. He's there with us today. We might hear from him later on from the Stadio Diego Armando Maradona. Goalless then, but pretty fun to watch, the first half. From the Guard of Honour, given very sportingly by Fiorentina, to the near misses that we've had. It's been an entertaining 45. Looking forward to another half of football between Napoli and Fiorentina right after this break. Welcome back, everyone. It's Golazzo live for you, bringing you the second half very shortly of Napoli's clash with Fiorentina, ahead of some really, really key days even in this Italian season. We've got today's game. We've got a big match coming up straight after us on BT Sport 2 when Verona will be taking on Lecce. Lecce are busy trying to get a bit of space between themselves in the bottom three. And the same story really for Verona. So it's going to be a key game, that one, in the battle against the drop. And then midweek, we've got the Champions League, Europa League and Europa Conference League. A lot of Italian representation
Calcio
in those semi-finals. Calcio is back this season, at least. And it's going to be a dramatic finale to the campaign. Fiorentina very much in there. And the second half here in which they have come up against Kim, for example, in the first half, been able to get past this Napoli back line for all the efforts of Ostigard in there.
Yeah, I think, you know, I mean, you were talking great party scenes, James, there. I bet you wish you were there. Bit of Sabrina Salerno, Boys, 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 is that about coming on? But, I mean, one of the great things about both of these teams, secret to Napoli's Scudetto, James, goals from the bench.
Right.
How many times have we seen the likes of, you know, Simeone come on and score, Raspadori as well. And also for Fiorentina, 27% of their goals have come in the last 15 minutes this season, James. And you mentioned that Conference League semi-final. I think that's one of the reasons why Biraghi, for example, didn't start. Ikone didn't start. Kwame as well. So there's lots of goals on that Fiorentina bench, which means there's lots to look forward to.
Well, indeed.
In this second half.
There's also goals on that Napoli bench, and one player has already come off the bench after the injury to Chucky Lozano is Kvaratskhelia, who is perhaps the story of the season in Serie A, although he hasn't actually had a goal or an assist since the start of last month.
No, I mean, he is the signing of the season anywhere in Europe. I don't think anyone's had the impact that he's had, although Osimhen certainly is the face of this team. Will always be remembered for that Scudetto clinching goal that he scored in Udine. But yeah, Kvaratskhelia, I mean, signed for 12 million from everyone's favourite Georgian club, Dinamo Batumi, James. Slightly bizarre circumstances in that he was a ruined player, then tragically the war started in Ukraine. UEFA allowed players to suspend their contracts and move wherever they liked. He went back home to Batumi and was signed by Napoli. So,
funny how things worked out.
Yeah.
And they certainly have worked out for Kvaratskhelia and Napoli. He's been, in many ways, the piece that has brought the entire forward line to life. His unpredictability, his creative...
Lobotka
well, yeah,
and Zielinski.
from the opposite side of the spectrum, but an absolutely key player as well.
Yeah, and a lot of people wondered whether he would make it, but great work from Spalletti. Remember the work that Spalletti did with David Pizarro at Roma, with Marcelo Brozovic at Inter. He's done exactly the same with Lobotka at Napoli. He is the Regista whisperer, James.
Beautifully put. Let's hear more golden words on this golden afternoon for Neapolitan football from our commentators, Nigel Spackman and Dave Farah.
Not sure about golden, but we'll do our best. We wait for the second half to get back underway. Great that Lobotka is going to go out there and enjoy this. And one of the key players, one of the true unsung heroes, as Kvaratskhelia sweeps it forward to begin this second half. First of all, let's hope for a goal, but straight away Zielinski has just come on. Gets a bang on the ankle.
Yeah, not much in that from Amrabat. He just tried to flick it and it hit his other ankle. But he gets the free kick in a really dangerous area right at the start of this second half here. Zielinski.
Well, they've got a few who could hit this. He'd love a win, of course he would. It's all very well enjoying the occasion, but you don't really want to go into that choreographed presentation and the big party having lost the game. You want all the glory to be well earned. Elmas and Zielinski, the two who stand over it. Well, Zielinski tried something.
Yeah, he got too much on it, too much pace on it. That's his first kick since he's come on, except for the one on his ankle. Overhit that one.
Paolo Di Canio this week described Kvaratskhelia as a cross between George Best and Cristiano Ronaldo. That's one back by Lobotka. Now, was he fouled? Penalty! Amrabat on Lobotka. Marchetti points to the spot.
Well, I have to say, we were waxing lyrical about this man, and he's just come on, Lobotka. And he's won his team a penalty by being so switched on. What he does, fakes to go one way and comes back, nicks in front of Amrabat from the pass out, and then there's contact there. Here we go, pushes him over. And that's a definite penalty, and that's all about watching the game, saying what I want to do, fake to go one way, go the other way, nip in front of Amrabat, and he gets his team a penalty. And who's going to take it?
It's Osimhen to go past George Weah. To become the top African scorer in Serie A history to move to 23 goals in the season. We've had Etu, we've had Ware, we've got Osimhen, but he's missed. Terracciano with the save, but here comes the follow-up. It's a good height, wasn't it? Still a good stop.
Well, he gets the right way, but it's a poor penalty. It's not even in the corner. Just gets the right way and you keep that out. It's the right height. There's not enough power on it. The goalkeeper does well. But that's a poor penalty from this man. Osimhen, who's been in great form this season. Gift you a penalty, you've got to take that chance.
So, it remains 0-0. Forward by Kvaratskhelia. Now Zielinski. In towards Anguissa, Osimhen was there. He's furious with himself.
He is, and then the follow-up, I think it was from Di Lorenzo, which the keeper kept out as well. Osimhen is furious with himself, as he should be.
Here he is again. He might have controlled that with the arm, did he? Milinkovic got in the way. He owes them nothing, of course. Victor Osimhen, he has been the catalyst. Of course, the debate will rage long into the night about who Napoli's #1 player has been. It's been such a great team effort. Here's Nico Gonzalez. Now Duncan. Going to pick out Sotil behind for a Fiorentina corner.
Looked way offside to me.
He was.
But we were talking about that with Napoli. It's been a brilliant team, the squad, the manager, everyone together. But there's been some standout players, hasn't there, individually? I think Kim at the back has been excellent. I don't think we should forget about Alex Merritt as well, the goalkeeper, who's been really good this season as well. But everybody had talk about.
Breaks now for Amrabat, and it's a good drive. Held by Golini. We briefly saw Rocco Camiso up there in the stand, who very graciously congratulated Napoli for the Scudetto ahead of this game. The Fiorentina president. Yeah, the point I was going to make was so much talk about Kvara, and understandably exploded onto the scene, but the two you'd pick out if you had to would surely be the player you mentioned, Kim and Osimhen, or here's Kvaratskhelia trying to prove me wrong.
I think Lobotka, who holds it all together in the middle of the park, Dave, who ticks things over, breaks things up, senses danger, anticipates things, as he did for the penalty so well. And then Zielinski at times has done extremely well. But the two up front, Osimhen and Kvaratskhelia, are the two that always get the plaudits.
Bonaventura goes over. As I said, that debate about the key player, who the player of the season is and all of that, it's a difficult one in this campaign. They're such a good team. So we'll let you argue at home about that as well. Here's the strike from Amrabat. Nice pure hit, but straight at the goalkeeper. Probably thinking Golini didn't used to save those when he played for us.
Yeah, but this is a free kick in a really good area, this, for Fiorentina. I don't think it'd be a direct shot at goal. I would get two men on the ball and just play it short here, because Napoli have dropped right off.
Well, Terzic is the natural one here with the left foot. Benuti steps over and Terzic overhits it.
Yeah, too much height. just drifting in there, no pace, easy for the goalkeeper to watch it all the way. Bellini, everything he's had to do, he's done really well. The reserve goalkeeper.
So Terracciano has saved a penalty, so he goes into the Conference League semi-final in good form. There's Jovic. Now Sotil. Amrabat with a big let-off after that silly challenge on Stanislav Lobotka.
Coming back to that point of playing out from the back from the goalkeeper, if he's going to play it in there, he's got to actually play the ball with pace, because then the opposing midfield player or attacker can't actually get in front. But if he plays it sloppy, then they've got a chance to anticipate and nip in front. So all round it's a bad play from goalkeeper and Trabant.
Østegård. Pass here for Elmas, and now Osimhen determined to make amends. Getting more and more frustrated.
Yeah, you can try too hard at times. Just hold the ball up, bring others into it. Don't always try and beat the defender on your own. But he's a bit frustrated, as you rightly say.
He's had so many injuries in his time in Serie A. I must say, enormous credit to our friend and colleague Don Hutchison, who did say before a ball was kicked just how brilliant he thought Osimhen could be, how he could be one of the very best in Europe. And I raised an eyebrow at that, but hands up, he was right. He's been magnificent. Didn't think he had quite the consistency that he's shown, but Don was right.
Yeah, he's got to play in the right team, though. He plays down the middle, he doesn't have to try and close things down, and you've got support from the wide areas. And it'd be interesting to see if someone does take him, where is he going to go and how they're going to change their tactics. But he is such a good player all round, except at penalties, of course.
He's got that touch of chaos about him, hasn't he, including when he takes penalties. Yeah, here's Gonzalez for Jack Bonaventura. Think very carefully before you signed him, in terms of your point about playing in the right team. Here come Fiorentina. Oh, that was uncertain from Napoli. Here's Bonaventura. Slipped as he hit it there, Lorenzo Venuti. Napolitano, having gone for the blue hair, preparing to come on and play his part. Next best after winning the title with his beloved Roma. There's Gonzalez. It's all a little bit flat, not in terms of atmosphere, but in terms of performance and the game at the moment. Had Osimhen scored the penalty, it would have been lift-off, wouldn't it? But feels like we're still waiting.
Yeah, they came out of the blocks really well second half. Napoli with the changes as well. The big hitters back on. Needed that penalty to really push them on, but missing that. Fiorentina maybe think it's their afternoon.
There's Igor. Nice take there, lovely touch inside from Nico Gonzalez. Kvaratskhelia now. For the third time, Napoli somehow appropriately Italian champions while Argentina are world champions. In from Osimhen.
Just wonder when Italiano decides he's going to make a couple of changes. Obviously wants to rest players ahead of the Conference League semi-final on Thursday, but they want to win this game as well, you know.
Yeah, it's that balance, isn't it? Artur's not in the squad today, but he does have options. Biraghi could come on and just provide a bit more down that left-hand side, and Jonathan Ikone, who's in and out, so too is Kouame, as attacking talents. I always think Riccardo Saponara is an undervalued player as well, as a sort of number 10 type. Castrovilli, the ballroom dancer. Great to see him fit and firing again. Here's Venuti. It's just a slice and nearly caused a problem. Sofian Amrabat. There's Anguissa.
So they're always looking for that quick ball down that right channel for Osimhen. Sometimes you just got to play it into his feet, mix it up, and just have a one-on-one race.
Well, we're approaching the final half hour here. Day of celebration for sure, but not yet a game to match.
Yeah, I played in games like this when we won the championship early on with, you know, maybe 8 games to go. And sometimes it's very hard in front of your own crowd. They come expecting you to win, and sometimes you're just waiting for something to happen. Now, that's what Napoli have got to deal with. They've got to make it happen. Having missed that penalty, it puts everybody a bit flat. They've got to pick it up again here.
Each of the last 3 draws between these two have finished 0-0. That was the scoreline earlier on in the campaign. Just mentioned it jokingly beforehand, but we're half an hour away from that as Kvaratskhelia plays it forward now for Oliveira. Now this could be Napoli's moment. No! Osimhen was flying in and Oliveira couldn't pick him out.
Yeah, but Oliveira's got into a great position. Then he's got to slow down. It's a lovely move. Now, be composed, take a little touch, wait, play it on the floor, and he taps it in. He's just trying to curl it and overhits it, and then it goes straight on rather than bending, and it's the wrong height. Osimhen can't get on the end of that. That's really good play in the first place, but a really poor cross from Oliveira.
Back to Terracciano. His reserve goalkeeper is Salvatore Sirigu, but he's injured at the moment. Former Napoli goalkeeper, as Italiano gets out to try and make an alteration or two. He will sense that the win is there for them here. What a boost that would be to take into that European semi-final.
Yeah, absolutely. They've played well here in this opening hour, but they just need to find a bit of a cutting edge.
But just in case you think anyone cares, we're reminded they don't really. They're here for the party.
Yeah, but they don't want to lose. If you're in those blue shirts, you want to win this game if you can, but don't lose it.
Oh, look at that shirt tucked from Milenkovic, but Osimhen is so strong. He gets away, and there's the lob, and there's the goal. No! Unbelievably no. But was he going to bring it back anyway? I think he was, for a foul.
Yeah, I think he's brought it back after all that drama. That's so unlucky. The bounce just takes it up too much rather than the back of the net, but brought it back with a tug on the shirt. But that's what he brings you. He never gives up on anything, Osimhen. And then a little bit of class. Didn't quite come off.
Oh, Victor, how's your luck? Good signs, though, for Napoli that they might be about to finish strongly here. Changes coming from Italiano. Mentioned Castrovilli, he and Mandragora are both going to be thrown on. Kvaratskhelia. There's Lobotka. Østigard. Now Kim. Here's Amrabat. Now Duncan. He might be one of those to come off here. It might be a case of just conserving Amrabat. We'll see anyway. That's up to Italiano. A reminder that coming up later on, West Ham play Manchester United, BT Sport 1 for that one. Coverage gets underway at 6:30, and then Brighton-Everton tomorrow. Bit of a Premier League double-header. It's all gets underway at 5 p.m.
Yeah, just catches him with his forearm there, Dave.
Nasty one from Nico Gonzalez. Here's the that little battle, and here come the Fiorentina changes. Duncan and Bonaventura, the two who make way. That will certainly strengthen Fiorentina. Castrovilli's such a talent. Such a horrible last couple of years with injury. Stolen away by Nico Gonzalez. That will deflect behind for the Fiorentina corner. There they are. All kinds of ultra groups and choreography that goes on in the stands. They're all here with flags and banners. Milenkovic, an obvious threat. It's really well delivered, and it'll go behind, I think, for another Fiorentina corner. No, it won't. Sotil keeps it in play. Osimhen, good discipline to win the defensive header. That's there to be attacked by Mandragora. Milenkovic was still there. Nico Gonzalez. Napoli on the back foot, Kim with the defensive header.
It looks dangerous at times though, Gonzalez, when he's coming in from that right on his left foot, trying to bend it in that far corner, the Argentine. Good defensive header from Kim.
As Amrabat floated in again towards Gonzalez. He's got such good spring. Well, Napoli wanted to counter, but the whistle had gone.
I think there might have been a handball in there, but it was a foul. That's why he stopped it. It's a little flick on, and then there's the hand there, but it was a foul.
So he's given the free kick, but he can't play on. It's a good decision from Marchetti.
Yeah.
Tried to get away with one there, Lobotka. By the way, Rolando Mandragora, I should mention, who's come on for Fiorentina, is a very interesting arrival, because he is from Naples, and not just from Naples, but from Scampia. And if you think Ciro Di Marzio and Gennaro Savastano, that's Scampia. Place made famous by Gomorrah, in case you're wondering what I'm talking about. Proper Naples. Still goes back and donates to local causes, his local church where he grew up. He's a good guy, Mandragora. Here he is on the ball now. Venuti, good service in towards Jovic. That's a very good defensive clearance from Østigard. Again, it wouldn't have counted, I don't think.
Yeah, but they're playing some nice football at the moment, Fiorentina, playing from left to right. Well, that's a very tight one. He's giving that one for offside.
Their results in Europe, I think, have gone a bit unnoticed. They thrashed Braga. Then, after struggling a bit at home against Sivasspor, they did a job on them as well, and then the drama against Lech, and Lech had done so well to that point. But absolutely outstanding. Do not be surprised if Fiorentina go all the way, because they found the magic in Europe. And of course in the domestic cup as well.
Yep. I think it's just been disappointing in a way in the league that that gap above them is so vast, but I think overall it's been a good season for them.
And by the way, if Fiorentina do get to the final of the Conference League, they'd become the first ever club to play in the final of all 4 major European competitions. Here's Kvaratskhelia. Going to attack Venuti. And he's still going to attack them. He goes down! It's another penalty for Napoli. Who's going to take this one?
It's so tricky. Checks to go on the outside, then back on the inside, but this touch is beautiful. Watch this, kills it. A little bit of backspin, and then he's taking on Venuti, twists and turns, comes inside. Yeah, there's a little dangle of the leg there. And Gonzalez, I think it is, just catches him there, and that's a penalty. But once he gets one-on-one with you, I think Gonzalez saying he got a touch on the ball, but I don't think there's enough of a touch on the ball to turn this over.
Osimhen is going to go again, bravely. Once again, it's right in front of him, but they are checking. They're having a look at this to see if there was a foul in the build-up. So the wait continues for Victor Osimhen.
Now, if I'm taking this penalty, I'd be smashing it straight down the middle, Dave, I have to say.
Looks like it's confirmed. Osimhen will once again have the chance to move up to Serie A goal number 47, to go past George Weah. You know the story. This time, can he give it the perfect ending? For the second time, it's Victor Osimhen! And this time he does it! One of the true stars of Napoli's season. One of the biggest stars of this Serie A season. And he gets the party started.
And that's what they wanted. The fans, the players, the manager, everybody connected with Napoli. He's been the leading goal scorer, second time of asking, scores a penalty, and this time he does go down the middle. I think that was the safest thing to do, wait for the keeper to go and just lift it into the roof of the net. Osimhen had the composure and the belief to do it, and he's put Napoli 1-0 up.
And look at those scenes outside, away to our right. I hope you caught a quick glimpse there. The streets absolutely packed. There's the foul. There's the discussion with the captain, and here is the moment. To the victor, the spoils. Napoli can start to celebrate their special day.
Yeah, it's a good penalty. Got the adrenaline pumping through you. Can you control it? He did on the second occasion. Found the back of the net. I'd have to say, 23 goals, 4 assists this season. What an outstanding season he's had.
Time for Kouame, time for Saponara, time for Fiorentina to take a risk, maybe. This time Amrabat will make way. Sotil, the other player to come off. Kouame for Sotil, really. Saponara for Amrabat's attacking. And 15 remain here. Kouame's had an excellent time of things in the Conference League. Osimhen looks very emotional. Look, there's the pictures I was talking about. When Oliveira scored here last weekend, it registered 2 in Naples on the Richter scale. I think it's gone above that as that Osimhen penalty hit the back of the net. Simeone is imminent here. There's Østigard. Osimhen to chase again. I wonder, will he be replaced here by Simeone? Given away to Kvaratskhelia, who might be in. No. Terzic just got a foot in.
Yeah, just got a toe in and didn't hit Kvaratskhelia for a second penalty, or a third one, I should say. He's got to settle back down now, Fiorentina. They've done so well up to this point.
Gonzalez wins the free kick. Oliveira not happy at all with that.
Sostituzione Napoli, esce con il numero 9 Victor Osimhen.
So the hero of the day, let's listen to the ovation.
Ed entra con il numero 18 Giovanni Simeone.
Simeone, who once broke their hearts, gets the chance to add some icing to the cake here. And Osimhen withdrawn, but what a season and what a day for him to go past George Weah in that all-time list.
Yeah, but he's been so consistent when fit all season. Never gives up on anything, chases it all down. Outstanding season. For club and for country.
Mandragora stands over this free kick. Decides to move it for Terzic. We know what a good left foot he's got. See the smoke starting to drift across the field now, giving us a sign of what's to come. He knows these streets all too well. That's the scene outside. There's quite a perimeter at this stadium. So always a difficult one to get into. Scalia. There's Østigard. Forward by Golini. Napoli know all about being 1-0 up here on a big day and things going wrong late on. So they'll be careful. Here's Kouame. Now Venuti. Options in the middle here for Fiorentina, and of all people, Gonzalez side foots wide. He's the player they would have chosen to finish it.
Absolutely. Just a wake-up call there for Napoli down this left-hand side. Really good play. Win the ball there, and then the overlap. This is a good pullback, as you said, for Gonzalez. He's the man you wanted on it, on his left foot, and he just opens his body up and doesn't get enough contact on it. Puts it well wide.
Minutes and they can relax. They'd love a second goal to help that process. The way they're approaching it, it doesn't feel like they're champions. It feels like they still need to win this, and they've given it away nervously. It's Kouame for Luka Jovic, and Kouame again. Fiorentina flooding players forward now. Nico Gonzalez over the head of Castrovilli.
That's a real let-off in the end. They pressed the ball. The Botka's lost it. They don't get a shot on goal. But they are getting very nervy now. As you said, they've won it, but they want to win this game. And sometimes when you've not been there, it's hard to keep doing the things right. You've got to get back to doing the simple things. Just keep the ball. Great scenes outside, though.
Aren't those pictures something? Emotion there, I think, in the eyes of De Laurentiis. What they were trying to build, but after the changes they made, couldn't have believed it would happen this early.
Yeah, but I think credit to the scouting team, the whole network behind the scenes, and obviously for Spalletti gelling them all together into a team. Formation that suits. It always helps when you've got players who can score goals as well, but at the other end, I keep mentioning it, but Kim has been outstanding. You just wonder what the likes of Koulibaly must be thinking.
Yeah, penny for Lorenzo Insigne's thoughts. Koulibaly, Fabian, the mighty Dries Mertens, of course, who's came back to the city for the celebrations. Feels like he's still in the team, really. Always will be. Now Castrovilli. Well, don't forget, Champions League semi-finals. Napoli would love to be there, but aren't. It's Real Madrid, Manchester City on Tuesday. 7 p.m. the coverage. It's the Milan derby on Wednesday as Elmas makes way for Alessio Zerbin, who makes his 7th substitute appearance of the campaign. They're loving every moment. By the way, not a single Neapolitan starter in this campaign. Gianluca Gaetano has played 37 minutes. Here's Zerbin. He's penalised.
Yeah, Terzic did really well again there. He's had a good game. The left back for Fiorentina, getting forward but can defend as well.
Has stayed down. Simeone. He has Kvaratskhelia with him. There's no way through.
Yeah, he wasn't confident enough to do it on his own then, looking to pass it, and it wasn't the best of passes. But they're enjoying themselves, they've done the hard work.
You just get this sense of togetherness. Fans and the players as one. An Osimhen penalty in a pretty bog-standard game, but a very special occasion. Zerbin. Di Lorenzo, and it'll be a Napoli corner. No, it won't. It came back off him, and he knows it.
Yeah, they've just got to try and keep the ball better now. Napoli just keep the ball, see it out. Big 5 minutes coming up, plus added time.
A missed penalty, or at least a saved penalty, and then one scored. He had the guts to step up for a second time. Victor Osimhen, it says a lot about him. Would have been very easy to hide. Of course, he wants to be capocannoniere as well. It really impresses me to miss a high-pressure one and then to take the next one in the same game.
Yeah, I think that you're absolutely right. It shows really good character and faith in your own ability. I think his captain, Di Lorenzo, had a word with him, said, you don't have to take it. And he said, I want to. And he stuck it in the back of the net.
Forward by Gonzalez, in towards Kouame! The first touch was just too heavy, and then he couldn't control the second one.
Absolutely, didn't kill it with his first touch, and then that gives the goalkeeper a chance to come out and smother him. Yeah, poor touch, and the keeper's off his line very quickly, Golini. And he has to lift it over him and then lifts it over the crossbar, but it's the first touch, you're absolutely right, which let him down.
It was one of those, if he'd miscued the second touch there, he'd have scored. But he toe-ended it over the crossbar now. Zerbin, final 2.5 minutes. Everyone had run offside. Oh dear me, and Zerbin is just taken out there by Mandragorat.
That's just what they needed, though. Napoli to stop the flow of the game, get the free kick, and then just take your time on everything.
Simeone went over, hoping for a third penalty. Wonder what he's thinking. Soaking it all up, taking it all in. Now Zielinski to roll it across, and it wasn't quite there for Simeone. The seconds tick down. Question now of how much time will be added on.
Yeah, Milinkovic did really well there, just covering around. But they're going to take their time. They need to just take their time here. Get it in the corners, kill the game. It's all a learning process for them.
What a pass that is from Kvaratskhelia, and it nearly worked its magic. Here's Anguissa!
That's a brilliant ball, isn't it? The swerve he puts on that little pass there. And then Anguissa puts it out for a throw-in on the far side with that shot, I think. He won't mind, though. It's wasting time.
This grand occasion is only just starting. The celebrations will begin once we have the final whistle, once we know how much time is going to be added here, because Fiorentina is still pushing with Gonzalez.
Yeah, just too high. The cross is too high to get up above that and get it on target from Gonzalez.
3 added minutes. All smiles up there. I've been thinking a lot this week. You've watched Serie A for such a long time. You've watched the Napoli story. You've watched them fall short time and again. You've watched them suffer and struggle and drop down and then rebuild and be reborn. Thought about all the players who didn't win it, the coaches who didn't win it, the forgotten ones. And it all comes to glorious fruition in a week like this. Now they look for icing on the cake with Kvaratskhelia. Simeone there with him. Now Lobotka. Pulled back by Zerbin for Piotr Zielinski. And then Anguissa to place it, but wide.
Yeah, didn't quite catch it properly there, cuts across it. When it comes out to him, goes for power, just drags it.
But just going back to that thought before we let this city erupt. You think of those who didn't win it, but the one thought first and foremost, it's been so long, 33 years, the story has gone on for so long. You've loved Serie A for as long as someone like me or the 2 guys in the studio. This Napoli story is just extra special. But that thought that the club had of bringing 2 scarves to the game is the one that I'll leave this week with. One for you, one for anyone who you've lost in the last 33 years who would have loved this day. That's the thought that I'll take. It's not about me, it's about them, but I wanted to leave you with that. Fiorentina looking to spoil the party. In from Venuti, and the header is over. And the big day, in terms of the game anyway, is very nearly complete.
Yeah, and they've done what they needed to do. They didn't actually need to win this game, but they wanted to do it in front of their own fans and party hard into the night. Having won the Scudetto midweek with that draw at Udinese. It looks like they're going to do that, but credit to Fiorentina. They've come here and had a go as well, and good luck to them midweek in the Conference League. But it's all about these fans today, these players, and this city and this community.
Up goes Gonzalez. For all the years of suffering, for all the years where this place stood half empty, go forth and celebrate. It's your day. You've marked it with a win. And look at that, the fireworks as the city erupts. Grande Napoli, truly. We knew they were champions, but they've sealed it in real style. As it finishes here, Napoli 1, Fiorentina 0, but that is only part of the story. The city now can relax and celebrate.
Well, many thanks there to Nigel Spackman and Dave Farrar, summing up this momentous afternoon by the Gulf of Naples. Vesuvius not the only big thing with smoke coming out of it at the moment in the city. The Stadio Diego Armando Maradona looking absolutely magnificent as this wonderful team crown their Scudetto win with a victory over Fiorentina. James Horncastle, it is an absolutely breathtaking scene.
It is different, James. Different from when Milan, Inter or Juventus win the league, because those guys always win the league. And for Napoli in particular, this one-club city that thought you needed the supernatural in order to win the league, the supernatural being Diego Maradona, who's venerated as a saint in this city. To do it without him, to do it after him, means so much. And for De Laurentiis, who rescued the club from bankruptcy, you think of that rise from Serie A all the way back to B, to A, to Europe, to the Champions League, to winning the Coppa Italia 3 times. This was all that was missing. And now it's missing no longer.
Well, there is De Laurentiis, there are the players, and they're awaiting the presentation of the Scudetto, the 3rd, of course, in their history, which will be taking place in a special ceremony, which has been directed by the famous director, the Oscar-winning director, Paolo Sorrentino. And Dave Farrar was mentioning some of his great films, La Grande Bellezza, which is an epithet you would gladly place on much of Napoli's season, although admittedly not so much the last month and perhaps not this performance this afternoon, although there was plenty to enjoy. We saw a lot of the great Napoli players come close to dusting off their greatest moments. Didn't quite happen for them, particularly Osimhen from the penalty spot, but he eventually put that right, and they have the 3 points for a win. But Luciano Spalletti, a word on the significance of that man winning the title.
Spalletti, who has come so close before in Italy, particularly with AS Roma, as we see some of the stats.
It's what you want, really. Nothing says. But 3 decades of waiting like those stats. Well, there you go. Nothing says Scudetto celebration like us sitting in the studio. But yeah, Spalletti.
Spalletti, you know, I remember 2008, James, his Roma team were leading the league on the final day for the hour.
Right.
And then Zlatan Ibrahimovic came on for Inter in the rain, turned the game around, and Inter won the league instead. And, you know, he's someone who has led teams to record points totals back when people said, OK, 85 points, you know, if it's not in front of Juventus, who cares? But it showed that he could take a team that far and deliver the kind of consistency you need to win a title. And he just needed the right team, the right time. And, well, in his late 60s, it has finally come.
Oh, there you go. We're going to take a very quick break now on Golazzo Live, and when we return, we'll be talking about this and all the other big stories from this weekend in Serie A. There have been some huge games in the race for top 4, big battles in the race to avoid the drop, and of course, there's been triumph for Napoli to cap off that Scudetto victory. We're back after this.